People religious with the Bible. When the man write the Bible, first and foremost, woman couldn't read the Bible. A few women alone could read the Bible. See? So even though that book was supposed to be a good book, it's only a few people read it. So what else are people do? Because some people in ignorance, they have doubt. So if them can read it for themselves, no, alright. Hey, you see the Bible is a powerful book enough for you. I'm not a Bible man, you know. But I go charges. I read that school there. Because they make you read some things. You know them called the synoptic gospels, Matthew, Mark and Luke. See? So hear them now, when you go to school. In that book, them also to explain what these things mean, you know. Matthew, Mark and Luke. Them say the synoptic gospel because the things are more same. When you read a book there now, and that book there, them say Jesus say, if thine eye be single, then thy body will be full of light. In Matthew 6. What do you mean by that? If thy eye be single, thy body will be full of light. Now you start reading more things, you find him talk about your third eye. Him tell a man say must go to the man because and tell him says I am who have sent him. I am is a special word because arm. The Sanskrit word arm. Translated to I am, you know. And the metaphysical Bible the word Jesus also translates into I am. And it's the I in man. You know what I say? It's the I consciousness. The Rastafari talk about, you know, which is that perfect state, that's perfect consciousness, you know, for you. That's what I'm talking about I and I. People in perfect state. It's the same principle. The man says, tell me that this I am who have sent me, and the man will send you, I give the donkey. Which means that you see some man that is space who have a way for reason. With a certain wavelength, who know, and we go to him and know, say, it's I send the eye, man, so I go deal the eye properly. Them teach about levitation, when man say about walk on water. Them teach about alchemy, which is changing water into wine. Them teach about meditation, transportation, because I say you have a point when him transfigure with Peter, James and John and Elijah and Moses, because him transform into pure light. And them could have seen him. So if them could have seen him, that means them third eye open. Them also clairvoyant. And what I say? All these things, them I tell you. And when importantly, that same man now, who them say dead, and rise from dead. If you saw the Indian man them, like several and flesh, them talk about only paramount and yoga, them call it breathless, deathless. Where the man them can bury themselves for all months. Cover them, and after a couple of months them wake up. You have them man's higher consciousness speak to that as well to still. So they must say, Yahushua learned for them thing there. When make him try them through India and through Kemet and read. But remember I says that you to come out of the Essene, you know. Essene are very special to the people, the Hebrew people. I link that back to Melchizedek. I remember say Melchizedek is the one who them say first start to teach Abraham. Them write the end of the book that I talk about. I say Abraham and Melchizedek and his way come from the slaughter of the kings. And after that he become this enlightening being, you know, which is A, which is first, and Braham, which is the band. Braham is the Indian word meaning divine consciousness. So Abraham become the first man with divine consciousness. And all time a nation of people who are divine people supposed to emerge. Just like when Jacob moved from Jacob to Israel, because him say him rest with himself at pineal, a pineal gland. He become in line and transform from Jacob to Israel, having what? 12 children. So himself to cover each of the zodiac element. I'm 13 child, so his daughter died, and can control the lunar element. So you can show you say the man who was Israel now was a terrible metaphysician who through him children could understand all of the things we are going around him. And like 12 tribes do enough for you. So 12 tribes say, you're Gideon. I'm going to tell you what the characteristic. You're Hebrew, you're Reuben, you're Benji. Because them, it is specific. And them give you colors. Is that for you? So it's a thing where when people reach certain kind of consciousness, man, and the man them show you clearly with that book, and him say another book, you have the greater things than what him do. And then them say him rise from the dead. So if you can rise from the dead, means you can conquer birth and death. On Rastafari people tell you, I can't dead, you have a problem. And the ultimate teaching in your religious book, from the man who you read the most, which is Jesus, Yahushua, say, you are going to conquer birth and death. I have doubt. You know what I'm saying? I have doubt. So now, if the people are allowed to read these things to themselves and understand themselves, you couldn't control them. Because I say him don't need no pastor, him don't need no pope. What he need to do is to go in there himself And all throughout that book fire, that youth attempts if you go in there yourself, you go find who you want to fight. Because he learned of these things will make him own trade and things to still. And in practice, remember you know, them takes one at a time he reach a certain age, which was 13 or so. So you know, so him dip on the cults now between him youthful stage and adult stage, and him third eye start to crystallize. Him going to church and start running the man him. Guess why? Because the man was supposed to do some ancient practice. They take up the Roman people in practice. And him as a youth who come out of the traditional family and say, but they're not dealing with the man. We not trick the people him and become rebellious. So he tells you, him that go for an ancient levity. I'm telling you, Virgin. Note in the stories, you know, in the feeding of the thousands, them, him say I feed him fish and bread. It's an illusion. Because fish was not fish as meat. No. It was in the Piscean age. So fish represent the knowledge or the food of that age. Then bread is a word that generally represents food. So if I give them knowledge, which is a fish, and food for them belly, and grow a miracle and multiply it. But yeah, no, is that hard to understand? Because you know some more time when I want a reason there, you like the reason. You come back, you don't realize you're hungry either. Because like the reason flow up your head and flow up your belly as well. So the reason that multiply and all people are learning and people are feeling satisfied. Because they might get to find themselves fire. No, a pastor don't want to tell you that. And I show the Bible and I find it for you. But I show you say no. I see what is in that book and what you can do. That's like dangerous because the man use the same book. We can guide people so much to themselves. To make them become so dependent on something outside of themselves. When everything that book there is to tell you about how you should know yourself. You check it out. Yeah man, I'm here to learn compass when I go to school at George's in the fire. I know what is the irony. There is a subject we rebel against the most, you know. We give the teacher bare trouble. And yet still, I have found that that subject of religion is one of the most relevant subjects I have ever done. Because they get good insight as to what them tell the people and what them don't tell the people. And you understand why people continue to be tricked by religion as against becoming enlightened through the same teachings. So the same thing that could make people become enlightened is them use to control them. You see? And yet still, note, there's no way in that story there whether you try to build a religion. That you never talk to people nothing about religion. You see? And the most non-religious people use the same information to create a religion for people to control them.
People spend their life, I go church every Sunday or Saturday, depending on which denomination them belong to. And all through them life, them can't afford zinc to put on top of them house.
This is Mutabaruka. We want to present to you a wholesome kind of level of consciousness right now. So, subscribe.
They wrote the Bible canon. They edited the Bible. I make an example and I say, I am your father. Dinloshanga is Maponga's father. I write a love letter to you. Then I seal it. I send it to the postman. The postman intercepts it, opens it, looks at it, takes away some lines, changes it here and there, close it again. And then he writes, love from your father. Sends it, it gets to you. Who wrote that?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because then the Bible is the word of God, or the Bible contains the word of God. But the one who has interfered with the text now has the intention with the text. The one who has edited the text, they have the intention with that edition. So you can no longer say you have received the message from your father in its purity. But yes, you have received a letter from your father, but it is now contaminated.
Edited version.
So what if it is now giving you wrong directions as to where your inheritance is? Because the one who was carrying the letter decided to move. Now, how would you find slaves obey your masters, all these Roman laws that are actually being kept in the text, and they're supposed to be read as Bible verses? Slaves obey your masters as you obey Jesus.
But that is where we are when Mapong. How do we fix this? This is where we are. We are with this book that has been edited. We are told that it is supposed to give us.
Did you watch this
truth.
program called The Weakest Link?
I used to watch it.
You watch The Weakest Link? Our weakest link right now are our academic professional pastors. Ask me why. They have become the custodians of the rotten system. Because now they're the beneficiaries on top of the program. They cannot change it. because their retirements are now included in those lies. So senior pastors right now cannot challenge the same faith because that's what is paying them.
So you reckon they are protecting their 401k, as Americans call it, their pension money?
How do you destroy a system that is paying your bills? The first law of the table, when you have food in your mouth, don't talk.
But there are young people that are rising up. I'll specifically talk about Adventism. There's an article that someone wrote. He was questioning the Adventist approach, or how Adventism interprets prophecy, based on a guideline that was written by Uriah Smith, whose approach and outlook on everything was Eurocentric. How they talk of a beast coming out of the earth, right? An earth that is not inhabited. But this guy says, but how can you say this earth, which is America, is not inhabited when there have been people that have been
More than
living
3 million Red Indians were there.
3 million?
Yeah.
Okay, now
More
you
than 3 million
over 3 million.
Red
Oh,
Indians.
I thought you were saying they were there for more than 3 million years.
There were 3 million
Yes,
Red
yes.
Indians who existed. In
So there are people who are rising up who are questioning these things. So at least there's some enlightenment. And I think to a certain extent, I would like to think that everyone would probably reach a point where Umaponga is if people begin to ask questions. And in them asking questions and not finding answers, then they will probably realize that, no, man, maybe there's something else missing.
I'm
Or
writing
maybe-
my own gospel. I'm writing my own
So
gospel.
you're serious about this thing?
Kata Maponga. Kata Lukon. The word kata, it means according to. Coming down through. So and so.
Okay.
So if you have Jesus here or the Messiah here, and then every disciple that is with him decides to write the gospel. Each one of them writes the gospel as they experienced the Messiah.
So
So
let's use the Bible as an example. Are you writing a book, or are you writing another version of the Bible where the Bible according, or the gospel according to Maponga, will start from Genesis to Revelation, or is it just a book of Joshua, for example?
Is Matthew a Bible? Is John a Bible?
No, it's a book in the
It's a
Bible.
book in the Bible. So I'm writing my book,
Okay.
which will be included in the annex of history. Your children, when they read it, they will understand.
How far are you, and what is informing
We've done
this book?
117 chapters so far.
What is informing it?
I wake up in the night and I sit and I download information and I write.
Okay. You download information. So now this would be Maponga's book being informed by other scholars or other writers, not necessarily Maponga's experience.
Is the way I'm interacting with politics, with economics, and the Christian space. And I sit around and I apply my mind to issues. And then I begin to have an interaction with myself. And I'm downloading that content from my DNA.
When can we expect it to be published?
It's already, I've created a blog with it, which is already flying.
Okay.
So every 2-3 days you see I'm posting a chapter there.
Okay.
And as I'm going. So by the day I die, then when my kids will take those books and bind them together. And then that will be a Bible for the next generation.
Is it under Farmers of Thought?
Under Farmers of Thought,
That
yes.
blog.
Yeah.
Okay. Where do you stand with the Bible? I asked you this question. Is it an infallible word of God? Where do you stand with the Bible? Maybe don't use the words that I'm using, but where do you stand with the Bible?
Maybe it's a very beautiful question. The real question must be, where does the Bible stand with me?
No.
I'm coming.
Please answer what I'm asking.
Yes, where do I stand with the Bible? It's better asked, where do I stand in the Bible? Where does the Bible stand with me? Because by saying so, I want to find the relevance of my life within the text itself.
Okay.
Like you just put it right now, that Uriah Smith could interpret the whole prophecy based on their own understanding. But as a theologian, I'll assist you. Chapter 19, chapter 18, chapter 20, 21, and 22 of the book of Isaiah talk about the slavery of the black people, being shipped to lands afar, and their women being stripped and men walking with bare buttocks. It's there. Then you read all of it, including Deuteronomy chapter 28. By the time you're finishing chapter 20, 21 of Isaiah, then there is a good news. Therefore the redeemed of the Lord shall return. They shall come back. I'll take you away to a far land, but I'll bring you back to this land again, and etc. There's no other nation that was moved in ships and boats,
Where,
including
who
the
are
Jews
these people?
themselves.
Where were they moved from? And where were they
From
moved
Africa
to?
into America, into the Caribbean, into Britain. And then the same Bible actually goes on to say, but I will bring you back to your land. Beautiful prophecies. But because of the Eurocentric Christianity, that does not see a black man in the text. These prophecies are never spoken about. We are told that Jesus is coming again. How can Jesus come back again before repatriation and reparation if these promises will not be fulfilled? Then the Bible is a lie.
So is the gospel according to Maponga touching on those issues?
That I think what I've just shared with you right now is chapter 3, chapter 4. Yes. Who are the chosen nation?
The gospel is linked to this is my understanding, is linked to Christianity.
No. It's not linked to Christianity. The
understanding.
word gospel, actually,
Okay.
good news, is a military word
Okay.
in the Roman space. When you go to war and you fight, when you win the battle, then one person is chosen to run back to the village, if you've watched the Spartans, with the news that the battle has been won.
Oh, is that the
That's where
gospel?
marathon comes from.
Okay.
That marathon, that 41 kilometers,
Yes.
it was actually running with the news that women start preparing the food and prepare for the festives. For the battle that we've been fighting has been won. So when Christianity poaches this word and saying we have the gospel, the question I'm asking, have we won the war on land? Have we won the war on poverty? What news do we have to take back to the people that are in the communities that we can say we have the gospel?
Is your gospel going to help us accomplish those? Fight poverty?
It is not the only thing, it's a contribution.
Get the land?
It's a contribution. I'm giving you the software. Because if you don't control the software between your 2 ears, you can't control the software between your legs and the software underneath your feet. Therefore, thinking becomes critical. And when a face is beautiful, as of cosmetic beauty of a country, and the software, which is the brain and power and leadership, is not working, the resources underneath our feet will always suffer.
Have you answered my question? Where do you stand with the Bible?
Where does the Bible stand with me?
I don't know.
Then I don't know also. I don't, until I find myself in the text. Hence I was giving the book of Isaiah. Until I find myself in the text as to what does God say about Africa. You cannot tell me that the whole prophecies of Daniel and Revelation has nothing to say about Africa. It's about
Help us.
Europe,
Help
it's about
us.
America.
You are the one that studied.
There you are back,
theology.
you are
You
back
are the
again
one.
harassing me.
You are the one that read these books. You are the one that did theology.
When we were asking
Fundiswa.
these questions, what were we told? You will find the answers. When you started your interview very well, the frustration you are experiencing now, that's my frustration. That how do we now rewrite the whole writings of Adventism, for example, to rewire the entire prophecies?
So there you have it. Tatu Maponga is a frustrated man with a lot of questions.
Look upon these whole heap of things we are going on all over the earth, and people are saying, well, God have to protect them from this and God have to protect them from that. Now look on the Gaza war there. Israeli I deal with Yahweh. And the Palestinians them say them I deal with Allah. And in the rebels, we will look upon them a die. Them a say, Allah go protect them. Meanwhile, the bomb are dropping, Allah go protect them, and then the bomb drop and kill all of them. And the other guy over the other side, he must say, Yahweh, I will give him back him land when promised them according to them 4,000 or 5,000 years ago. And bomb drop and kill them. And then the captive them, the hostage them, with them all in Gaza, the Hamas people them all there. So most of them are American and them are Christian. And them are plead to for them God said we because them parents and family members I say them are pray to God for bring them home safely. So right now we have 3 different kind of people I pray to what them believe or them think is 3 different God or the same God. It could have never be. Because the whole of them are bomb up on it and I pray to the next one. We're going to come forward. First break. Yes, we're there with you. So, and when we talk about suffer now, we are talking about by just acts of nature. You know, them house want fix, them water, lack of, them have no light. All of these things. But them go church every Sunday. The different people, them are worship. Well, I can't tell them it's one God, but them are call it different name. And depending on the situation where them find themselves in, them say, God bless them. Or the other people, them is devil. So depending on who is saying what, because of why and when, them feel say, when them pray, there's something out there that is listening to them other than themselves. And then disaster come. Poor people who do have nothing more than them little house. And them really find it hard and a struggle. And rain come and watch them house. Rain come and watch them house. And fire accidentally burn down them house. Them need help. And no one know that they give them help. And them start to pray again. And pray and pray. And them situation get worse. Another man, rain come and him house stand up straight. Nothing happened to him house. Nothing at all. Nothing no watchway. Nobody no dead for him. And him fridge pack up and him have a whole heap of food. And him pray and say give thanks to God to provide him with all this food, bountiness and all these things. And him is not a sufferer, him can afford it. What are dynamics involved in that situation where people who poor and needy, when the so-called acts of God come upon the earth, it's mostly them feel it. People who spend them life I pray to God. People who spend their life, I go to church every Sunday or Saturday, depending on which denomination they belong to. And all through them life, them can't afford zinc to put on top of them house, that's it no leak. And sometimes them can't afford food to put on them plate. But them pray to this thing all of them life, and then bring up them children for prayer. And just like how them sit down and a hope and a wish, them cause them children to get up and hope and wish that one day life will be better. All them have to do is pray to this something where them don't know about, them never see it, them never hear about yet. I mean, them never hear yet. What is it that is causing people to do this? What is it that is saying, rain come and watch the poor man house? Most of the time, it's poor people feel it when flood come. Because some of them are squatter according to the system. And them know what it is unnecessary to combat the storm or to help themselves as it relates to food, clothes and shelter. But them pray feet every day. please God, let food come on my table. Let me get a work that me can help me pick me for go to school. And so them teach them children for also do the same thing. Pray. And some people might say, well, I told them I have no faith. But from you start to pray to something that you don't know where that something is, who and what that something is, it's faith you have. You never hear the Bible say faith is the substance of things hoped for and evidence of things not seen. It's most faith you have if you have to pray to something where you don't know, never see yet. But you have prayed so it will help you in your physical needs. And when you look at the people them out there, we don't go to church, go on with the most craziness. The same thing where you have prayed to that something for is that them have and them not going to church and them not praying. Explain that. Explain that. Why is that we look on the TV and we say almost thousands of children dead because the next people drop bomb on them? Almost 15,000 children them say gone because people drop bomb on them. And then the people who drop the bomb on them give thanks to them God to overcome the enemy and them picking them. Because according to the Bible, not evil, the child on the mother's breast must dash them against the wall. We're going to take a break again and come forward. Yes. So we are saying, if most of the time when I look around me, I see more people who are suffer, and when I look again, I see some people live okay. And when I look, I see the people them who are suffer. And when we talk about suffer now, we are talking about by just acts of nature. You know, them house want fix, them water lack of, them have no light, all of these things. But them go to church every Sunday. And most of these people live in some volatile area where gunshot are fire every night. But them go to church every Sunday. No. Some people might argue and say, I true them are wicked, why them a go through all of them things there? Why is it them are wicked? Because them a go through them something there. Once there is a God according to them. If there is a God that demand that you have total obedience to it, total obedience, and if you don't have total obedience, things might happen to you that is detrimental to your survival. In other words, them say is 7 billion people, maybe more upon the earth. Half of them people, they don't even know nothing about this thing that is going to destroy if you don't have total obedience. And the other half might be giving lip service and trying to live in keeping with line with the orders that is given from that book that holy book. So who is doing total right? Because even according to them, the man who come, who is without sin, all him go get killed and them kill him, hang him up and him have to beg, Father, Father, why you desert me? Let this cup move from me. Him never want what happened to him happen according to them. But them give credence to that death, that killing. People praise it and say, yes, good him dead for me and him dead for you and him dead for everybody. But the earth and the people upon the earth, since that time until now, them thinking get worse. Them thinking get worse and they are more evil. The man heart get more evil. Even the people were believing in that story. We just played something a while ago. Worse evil people tend to be religious people. And the others who claim now say, them not religious, but them believe in the Almighty God. And them same one in the majority, but when them house, when rain come, it a leak, fire come burn down them house. Them don't have nowhere, them don't have no family, or them have family, but the family look about themselves. Sometimes the family better off than them. What is it? What is it that is in our mind that tell us that we have to depend upon this thing, this something out there, or else we are doomed? What is it? Who told us? Who let us decide that? And start to believe, say, it's we are decided. How come all of us come up with that idea? In the Western world, yeah, I must have to emphasize in the Western world, because not everywhere in the world people believe this thing. Not everywhere in the world people believe, say, there's something out there that is deciding what will happen to you if you do certain things and what will happen to you if you don't do certain things. We give it over to this being, this something that none of us know about. When we come back, come hear about it. And people who get mesmerized and get involved in some personal superstition, accept it as a reality. And it's not no reality, it's faith in my work with. It's not no reality. It's faith in my work with. And it make the faith overcome him or her so much that when something bad happen, them say, well, God know where I do. That's why that happened. If something good happen, them say, boy, give thanks to God. Something bad, them say, God know where I do. Who, after how much hundreds of years, cause us to get involved with such delusion, craziness in our head, that it can't come out, that every time we start to shift, we put something where we are shift from inside of that thing and make it become our, what we call truth. When really and truly, It's not we as individuals decide that truth. That truth was decided for us before we were born. Before we were born, that truth exists. And we were taught, sometimes forced, sometimes ridiculed if we don't believe in it. Ridicule way. Where you get them foolishness from? The mother saying you go to good school, saying you go to church and all them something there. Why I bring up this morning, this day? I say morning. Why I bring it up? I go in our church Monday. And I can tell you that it's 60 years I never go into that church. 60 years. Yes. As a matter of fact, I was christened in that church. My mother took me to that church, and I remember the white man, the father, who hold me and put him finger upon my forehead, and him christen me and give me a name that is different from the name of my mother and my father give me. And I sit down in the church. I think I did it for about 2.5, 3 hours. I look on the building, look on the motifs on the wall, and knowing say, this building was built in the name of something that no one in the church know that something, but them believe through faith that something is there. And them build a physical monument, the biggest church in the Caribbean, I was told from I was a child. Them build that monument in the name of that thing. If you go all over the world, you see bigger ones than that. Nostradam. I mean, they build big buildings, because men love to build buildings in the name of something or someone, and then idolize that something or someone, then build it. Some people, like the man them in Afghanistan, the Taliban them, or the Muslim them, you can't draw them prophet. You can't paint them prophet. You can't make a sculpture of them prophet. Them see it as sacrilege. As a matter of fact, they will put you to death for that. And don't feel no way like them do something wrong. And we over this side we say, what a wicked man. You mean him kill the man through the man paint a picture of Muhammad? Or imagine I'm Edo Alasti and paint it in wicked. And the man who killed the man in the name of that thing we call Allah, him no know nothing about it more than him have it in him head and have it as a faith. Faith is a faith. It has nothing to do with the reality of human beings upon earth and mankind as how them breathe and feel, taste, smell and think. Nothing. It is all about control. How human beings decide they're going to control other human beings. Just like how people make a dog become domesticated. Men make other men and women become pawns to their invention that them call a fate, and make it become the center of our being. And we don't know how we get there, but when we get there, it's very difficult to move out, because it take hold of you so much that them start to instill a thing named fear in the faith. And that is what make the thing become so crazy glue, like a crazy glue. It can't move now. It gets stick. Because when you have the man, the faith, and then you put that thing in the name fear, you know, so you become now a slave to his intentions. So it comes like we are all prisoners of this system that engulf us. Because man will build the tallest building and adorn it with all sorts of things. And then we get up every Sunday and stand on the pulpit and speak words from that little book, and then control the hundreds of people who is under him. Because most of the time he's up there and you is down there. And when him speak, he's the authority for that thing that you believe in. And he will supervise you and also criticize you if you ever move out of that line. You have to step in line, or else you'll be seen as an unfaithful person that need to be punished by the same thing that is so compassionate and so loving and kind, that he would, according to them, put you in fire for 1,000 years to burn because of your cruel intention against his order. Who come up with these things? Who come up with these things? Last week I read to the brethren, and the brethren said, I asked him who write the thing that I live, because he says Moses. It's Moses. And then the other people them know what they say. So almost is God give Moses all of these things. And people believe it. That thing, by some means of something, spoke to this man and make him write him a right, that him can write the word of God. So anything where you sit there, so Moses is just the vessel that was used to bring that message to those who want to believe. Because most people in the world don't believe that. Don't accept it. Most people in the world. It might look like we because we're in the Western world. And we see most people in the Western world give credence to that. But most people in the world don't believe that. Them say them have 1 billion Roman Catholics. Well, 1/3 of the world population in China, and most of them don't believe that. The Indian them have millions of religions in India, and them don't believe when most of we in the Western world believe. The majority of people right now in Europe is going to, well, I say majority because I talk about the whole life, is now seen as atheists. Atheism is on the rise. But guess what? A whole heap of people still believe, say, there's something out there that is deciding what we should do and what we should not do. It's not we are decide that, according to them, It's something out there decide that. And even though we don't know if something is out there deciding that, we must have a fear factor in it that keep us in line with that something out there that man put out there. Is man put it out there. Because if there was no man, that concept would not be there. And if you never get in contact with that book, you wouldn't have that thinking, that fear. Because people in other parts of the world don't have that fear. Because when them ask for something and them don't get it, them don't create another thing for the opposite of the thing that if you get it. And call it devil. If something happened to your car accident or something, people go and say, well, you're lucky, and God save you from broke your 2 foot, and you broke 1 foot. So why would that thing make you broke 1 foot? And then no, I must give thanks because it never broke 2 of my foot. What kind of thinking is that? Why should I think that 2 people in a car crash and 1 dead and 1 escape? And the one who escaped is God save him. And the one who dead, you start thinking in your mind, I wonder when to make him crash Rasta. But I something him I do against God why I'm crashing and dead, That is how a whole heap of people who call themselves Christian think. That is how them think. You walk and you buck your foot, you say, Jesus Christ, my foot. That is how we think. That's how we react. Simple things. We give over to something that we don't know about. We just hear about it since we're born. And there's no one on earth can tell me, say, them use them 5 senses and find out about that thing. They say no one on earth can tell me, say, them use them 5 senses and find out about that thing. Me I talk about them hear that thing, I talk to them with them ears. Them see that thing attack to look upon them, or them I look upon that someone with them 2 eyes. Them smell that thing. The scent of that thing with them nose. And them talk to that thing while using the other senses to experience that thing. It's strange, man. So I sat in that church and I think for my days when I used to go there every Sunday. I used to live at Tex Lane. Tex Lane is off North Street. And it's just a little walk across the road to go to the church. And them days there is a white father there on the pulpit and talk Latin. And then when my mother moved, I would go to Woodford Park, Woodford Street. I have to dress up and walk, go down South Camp Road and go to church. And my mother don't go. My mother don't go. Cause according to that, she have to cook in the morning. By the time she don't cook breakfast, she have to cook the rice and peas. Peas too tough, she have to throw rusty nail in the pot. Rusty nail and garlic, suppose it soften up the peas. I don't know how them get that, but all people thinking, and maybe she get it from her grandmother. Maybe it work, because really and truly, it's through experience, it teach you. And that is how we learn things. At least I learn things through experience. That is the greatest teacher. So when a man I say, why him experience the spirit, I must believe that. I must believe that because it's experience. But if you boil it down to the nitty-gritty, it's just a feeling because of where him bring up with, where him come up with in his life. Him come up with it. Nothing else. It's a feeling, and then him put fear upon top of it, and then call it a religious belief.